Let's see how Nigerian businesses are reacting to this news. Amazu is the CEO of Amazoil, a Nigerian company specialising in oil trading, and as you can see, he's in our London studio today. Where do you stand here on this particular fuel dispute issue? I mean, as we just heard from our correspondent on the scene there, Christian, he's saying that companies like yours just don't know where they're going to stand with the new government, and that's one of the reasons why we're seeing these fuel shortages.
Well, absolutely. Well, look, the system clearly is not working. No matter how we look at it, it is not working. You cannot have a situation where there is a system to supply petrol to the public, but it's riddled with loopholes. These loopholes have been a great revenue for corruption. And that's a concern. People like myself are having to grapple with these concerns, uncertainty of the future, which we believe will be great, but payments are a concern to a lot of these power brokers. They need to be sure they will get paid. And I think what's happened in the past couple of weeks is a reaction, or like a warning shot as to, look, we are also suppliers, we are important, we don't have public sympathy on our side in terms of we are being seen as corrupt, generally speaking, most of these subsidy providers. So there's a concern that if they are not paid today, should a new government come in, they rightfully have to audit the process, and that will cause delays in their payments, and they fear they could be scapegoated.
Have you, has your company curtailed supplies and shipments as a result of this?
Absolutely not. I mean, my own sector in the industry is supplying the wholesalers who supply Nigeria. So I'm at the other end of the scale, as well as retail. We have retail stations in Nigeria, so we experience...
Have they faced the shortage?
Oh, good Lord, absolutely. I mean, it's been crippling for quite a while, and what's happened of late is ground to a complete halt. And there was no comfort or safety as to where products will actually come from. Even if supply does begin to roll out in Lagos, the main cities, that's going on right now, it will still take 7 days to 10 days to trickle through the entire system in Nigeria, so everyone is wet.
Well, to me, you're obviously the only spokesman we have for the Nigerian oil industry sitting in this very desk, so I'm going to ask you this. Is this the right way to address the problem? Because obviously you just hear there from the people, the economy's suffering, the people are suffering, some people can't even power their mobile phone generators to try and... Mobile phone companies are being affected because they don't have the diesel to power the masts. This is not great news for anybody. Is it the right way to address it?
It's not working, it's fallen apart, and I suggest that rather than focusing on a system going forward that subsidizes consumption, why don't we focus on a system that subsidizes production? Why doesn't the government spend... Once the public are convinced that they're not going to be taxed to fund filling up effectively a bucket with holes, they'll have a confidence to allow the government and make sacrifices themselves, to allow government to do what we didn't do in the 80s. We had a disastrous policy where we completely stopped investment in our infrastructures. Our population exploded at the same time, and that combination of a growing population and lack of infrastructure is what we're fighting.
Let me just ask you really quickly, how quickly do you think the new government could reduce these subsidies? Because we saw people on the streets last time the last government
absolutely. Well, it is an incredible opportunity for all of Nigerians today to actually resolve this issue. The subsidy, I would describe it as rat poison. Rat poison is 99% good food, 100% good food, and a dab of poison, but it's deadly. That's what this system has become. There needs to be a system that, hopefully, the people can buy into, have confidence in the government, and Buhari is the person they believe they can trust to do that. Once you have that and you make the changes, subsidy cannot work as it is. It needs to be changed, but you cannot throw it away completely, because you will tax the people. You can manage taxing the people and manage the infrastructure being put in place. The system will work again. But right now, definitely it's not working.
Amazu, the CEO of Amazoil, thank you very much for joining us there, the Nigerian company which specialises in oil trading.